Hey guys and girls, today I'm going to be showing you how to make a basic thumbnail for YouTube gameplay videos, or you can use these methods for any sort of thumbnail. It doesn't have to be gameplay, but today I'm going to be making one for God of War. I'm going to be making pretty much the exact recreation of this one, and I'll just kind of walk you through it. I know it's the text isn't the best or anything, but this is just a thumbnail, guys, and I promise you this draws people in these sort of thumbnails. But anyway, I hope this is helpful, guys. If it is, please drop a thumbs up, and let's just get straight into it, guys. So I have a PSD template for the thumbnail size already set into my computer, but this is what you can set yours to. So these are so 4.267 inches, 2.4 inches, 300 resolution, blah 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 blah. So that's how we started off. So I'm gonna actually create that. Bang. Now that's created a white image. We're just gonna double click on this, which unlocks it to make it into its own layer. Now what we're gonna do is go over to the brush, create a new file, and then this is what I like to do. You don't have to do it. Is I get a brush, and all I do is go around the outsides. I suggest click drag, click drag, click drag. Done it again. This bottom one always gets me. Just click drag it around the outsides. You can hold it if you want, guys, but it just takes a bit longer. And there we go. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys, because all you're doing with this is lowering the opacity down, and then it just sort of brings out the image like that. You can also change it to a clipping mask to this image, so it only affects that image. And then what we're going to do is create a new one above it. I'm actually going to lower the opacity a little bit more. Actually no, I'll just leave it there. So now what we're going to be doing is going over to Google. So to start off, I'm making a God of War thumbnail. So we just look up God of War PNG. PNG file format just gives you images like this, where it has no background, and it just gives you the image like so. So it's much easier to work with them. So I'm going to be using the 2018 God of War game PNG, and it gives me the images like so. I'm going to be using, I've already got the image, but I'll try and find it anyway. No, I won't. I'm using an image like this, guys. It's just a bit different. So let's go into it. So you go ahead and you go open file, open up the image you just downloaded. Then it's going to open up a PSD. You want to bring it over and drag it over to here. Now we're going to place it right there in the corner. You just don't have to place it like this. Place it anywhere you want. That's just where I'm going to place it. So then we've got Kratos, and what we're going to do with him is just go Control J, so we can go back to that image. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and put show you this. So you get your magnifying glass, then you're going to zoom up on the image. You just don't have to do this. If you have a character, I strongly suggest you do this. You can do this with a lot of things, guys. For today I'm just going to be using it for his eyes, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go zoom right up until it gets square pixelated sort of thing like this, and then I'm going to go over to quick selection tool and then just highlight the color in his eye like so. It doesn't have to be perfect for me, because his eyes are so small in the image, it doesn't really matter to me. Then I'm just going to get rid of that. This eye always gets me for some reason. I can never get it right. I'm just going to work with that. So then I'm going to go Control, holding in Control C, Control V, and that's just duplicating the eyes and the color of them. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to the adjustments over here, go color balance, all the way red for mine because his eyes are red, orangey red, and then create a clipping mask to just the eyes, and then bring back Kratos. I'm going to zoom back out. And now his eyes are just glowing that little bit more red. You can hardly tell, but if I do this, Control J, which is just duplicating these, create clipping mask. Now I've got 3 of the same color balance, which really bring out his eyes. So now what I do here is I'm just going to come down to this image, create a new folder for him, so I don't have to keep selecting all of them. And then we can remove that, and that just brings out his eyes. As you can see, his eyes are just that bit more red, and they look that little bit cooler. And yeah, so now what we're going to do after that is we're going to go back to our Kratos, triple click him, or right click blending options. This works with text and whatnot. And then we're going to go straight down to the drop shadow, because I know what I want. Go normal, the blend mode normal, turn it down to about 60, size about 20 or 25. I'm going to just go for 23 for this one. And distance, put that to about 3 is 3, like so. Change the opacity to 60. And then I'm going to put an outer glow on as well. This one is just going to go back to normal. Black once again. And this is just going to be my thicker part of, and more of an outline on it. And then we're just going to go size, raise that a bit, and hopefully get that down about 20. And then all that's doing is putting the tiniest bit more outline to him really. And then we're going to come over to inner glow, and this is just giving sort of his skin its own lighting. You can use inner shadow for this. This also works good. We'll go with a 75-degree angle. Actually, we'll go for a 65-degree angle, and bring that right down. I'm going to actually make that white because I want it to be like a shine on him. I'm just going to change that to a normal. Just don't have to change them to normal. I just like to work with a normal one. So then I'm gonna bring that distance to about 6 or 7. We're just gonna do 7, size down and lower the opacity. And then all that's doing is creating that tiny bit more lightness to him, and just making him stand out that bit more. So you can use inner glow, does the same sort of thing. I prefer using inner glow just because you're turning down the opacity, it all works out in the same way really. And so that's Kratos there. So now we've got Kratos. He's been worked on. You can do much more to the character if you really want. So say you want his tattoos here to stand out, then all you have to do is create another color balance, make it red. I'm not going to make it all the way red though. And then I'm just going to create clipping mask to Kratos' image, get an eraser, and then just erase all around him like so. Get rid of it on his arms. Like so. I know I went over it there, but I'm not really fussed about this. As you guys can see, it just brings out his tattoo that tiny bit more, and just a bit more standoutish. But you want it to be faded because it's old, he's older now, so that's the part of the game. But if you want it to stand out a bit more, you can use that color balance. Sorry, I know I'm talking more about this particular thumbnail, but you can do this with anything. This is just bringing out the character a bit more. So now I'm done with Kratos, I can work on the rest of my stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and what I'd do next here, guys, is I'd go back to here, search up the game name, just put in the name and PNG, and go for, you know, like the text or the title of the game that's been made by the makers, and I'm just going to work with that. So I've already got one off the internet. Oh, keep bringing it to that one. And then we're going to bring it to here. So I'm going to lower it down to here like I had in the other one. And what I do with these is actually put work into it as well. So I'm going to go Control J, get this one. Drag it down with there. Get rid of it. Just so I have that image waiting for me. And I don't have to worry about them. So now what I'm going to do is go into blending options. Go ahead and put a drop shadow on that. Make that normal. About a 60 opacity. About a 20 size. And 3 distance. And then once again, add a glow. This I'm going to make it black actually. So it even adds more to the shadow. Normal. Turn that opacity down, and it just really brings out the text there. So that's all I have to do for that. Now I'm obviously don't have to do this with your stuff, but I like to make it look really clean. So I've just duplicated it again, which is Control J, and then here I'm going to just work with the red part here. So I'm going to erase the rest of this. Rid of all that, and get rid of that. So now what I'm going to do, go ahead, triple click or go into blending options, and then I'm going to go a satin on top of it, make that satin red, normal, turn the opacity up because this really brings it out. Make the size so there's still that tiny bit of shade, and then when we bring this image back, it just brings that out a bit more, as you can see. It's probably a bit too bright, but look at this. Turn down the opacity of it. And there you go. So it just gives it a bit more detail than this. See? Kind of just brings it out a bit more, and this really matters with thumbnails because you want people to view your videos, so you have to make it look good. So I'm just gonna drag them down here, and then we got that there. So now what we go to is we want the background now. So with that, for me, I just look up God of War scenery. So say you're doing Skyrim, obviously they have a lot of scenery photos, you know, Halo, what else, Fallout, Assassin's Creed, you know, COD, everything has a bit of scenery photos and whatnot. Try and get a HD one for your image. For me, I've already got one, it's this one here. I've downloaded that one already though, so we're going to go back to here, to Photoshop. I'm going to get the image, drag that over to here, Control T, which is giving you the measurement thing here, holding Shift, I'm dragging it down, bringing it to size, meeting the corner, holding Shift again, drag, place. Alright, which is enter. And now I'm going to drag this and place it below everything else. So now it's just a background, and I'm going to duplicate that on Visualize 1, triple click for blending options, go ahead and put a satin on that. Oops. Make that normal and turn the opacity down to about, well, it doesn't really matter until it looks like it's a background. So now it's behind him, isn't so bright, like it's just that little bit better with the satin on it, I feel. So he stands out a bit more. I feel like this is good image as well for a background, because it looks like Kratos is like sort of turned around and he's looking at the camera meanwhile they're doing that thing. So it really works well for a background. So that's for that, and then we're gonna go with our text tool. Create your text box. I got mine set on centered up here, so centered. And then I've already selected my font I'm going to use. It's a sort of a runic looking font. It's not runic, but it's shaped like theirs. So yeah, so kicking it with Sweeney, that's what the name of the videos are. All my gameplays are called that. And then we're going to go with text bending, warp text, sorry. Inflate it a bit to around like 45, 46. That's just how I always set mine out. It does not matter, guys. Always duplicate your text, so I'm going to do that now. So you can always go back and edit anything you might want to edit, change the font if you need to. So I've got two here. So now I'm going to create the visual one to a smart image, which changes it into a image instead of a text. And it just gives you a bit more free ability to work with it. And then we're going to go ahead and put a gradient on it. I suggest going to get a gradient pack, guys, if you're creating thumbnails. There's heaps of free ones that have good ones. For example, all these gradients are free right here. You can get them from anywhere. You get like 1,000 of them. So yeah, for me, I'm going to go for a sort of a reddish one. That should suit it well. Go ahead and press OK on that, and then I'm going to put an outer glow. It's already got a drop shadow. I'm going to change that to a normal blend mode, change that down to about 60, about a size about 24, 25, and then distance of about 4 to 3. And now with the inner glow, I'm going to leave that to itself sort of thing, just make it a bit more white. Change it to normal. Actually change it to an overlay. No, wait, sorry, what am I saying? I'll just go back to normal, change that to a normal, lower it a bit so it just kind of gives it a glowish feel. Put an inner glow as well, even gives it more. Then we're just going to lower the opacity on that as well, and it really brings out the text there. So now what we're going to do is get another Saturn, make it just a white actually, and normal, so you can see what Saturn looks like. It's sort of like a string looking thing through it. And then we're just going to lower that right down, and it just gives the text a bit more feel sort of thing to it. I know I say that a lot, guys. And there we go. So now we've got our text. Then what we're going to do is Control T, and because it's an image, not a text, we can go back to our image warping, and this gives us our own options to warp it. I always have mine sort of set to the same. I grab here, drag it in, grab here, drag it out, grab here, drag it in, grab here, drag it out, drag it in, drag it out, drag it in. Actually, we'll drag that, yeah, in, and this one out. So, and then we'll drag that up a bit more, and we'll bring this down a bit more. We want that bigger, so we're going like that. Too big. You guys just have to really make it suit your liking, and I'm sure it'll look good to others. So Control T, holding Shift, dragging it down, making it a bit smaller, taking it off to the side. And there we have it. So that's a basic thumbnail there for you guys. So I'll show you the original. That's how I made it, and that's the other one. So to be honest, I kind of like the one I recently made better. Came out a bit better. As you can see, I put much more work onto Kratos for this one than I did here, but that doesn't matter. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you did enjoy the video. I hope it was helpful. If it was helpful, please drop a like. If you guys need to know how to get Photoshop, it can help you there. And if you just need to find any gradient packs, I can help you there as well. Another way you can make thumbnails, guys, is go and look up people's templates. You can use them. But I strongly suggest making your own. It's pretty fun, to be honest. Like, they're not hard to make. It just takes a tiny bit of time, and it comes out looking quite clean. So I hope this was helpful, guys. If it was, please drop a like I said. Subscribe to keep up to date, guys. And stay saucy, stay happy, stay nice. Have a lovely day, guys. This has been Sweeney. Peace.